I'm going to be using the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's Place. They do have a larger version of this. I just got the mini because I thought it would be good for me to start off with. I am going to be going into the Nubian palette by Juvia's Place first, just to grab a transition shade for my Crease vibrant look. So be prepared for brightness. So first I'm going in with this kind of like slightly orangey transition shade. And I'm just putting it right above and in the crease. And buffing it in. And then swishing the rest of the product over. And I'll just tap back in for a little bit of more product if I need it, just to enhance it just a little bit. It is the Morphe M573, by the way. I just love the fluffiness and the taper that the brush comes to. Here we go. And I'm gonna go in with the shade Zobo in the palette. Very bright. And I'm pretty much doing the same thing with this color that I did with the first shade that I picked up out of the Nubian palette. And I'm just going in right in that crease. And one thing about their colors, they're so freaking pigmented. Like, I barely have any on the brush right now. And I'm just packing the color on, and I will slowly build it up. And I really am like keeping it in the same area I kept that first crease shade, but I'm going right underneath it just a little bit. And keeping it like right in the crease itself. Like, I don't want it to go too much outside of the crease. And I just blend, blend, blend. I think that's super important, especially when working with bright colors like this. You don't want any harsh lines, and you want it to be all blended out. And in this, just so that I'm keeping the shade packed on right in that crease, I don't even have to look in the mirror to feel where I'm at. I'm literally right in that crease, and I'm just keeping the shade. It is gonna fluff out a little bit, obviously below and above the crease, just a smidgen, because I want it to be a little bit diffused. But you can see that it is just like right in the crease. Next, I am going to go into my crease with a really small defining brush from Morphe. It's the M506, and I'm going into the shade Chi. And this brush is just a really, like, it's a tiny crease brush. You could use it in the outer corner, but it's going to be a perfect brush to pack that color on in the crease because I am going to create a cut crease. I'm just going in right in the crease, that shade. Keep in mind, this is funky. It might not be for every day, but it's just fun, and it just shows how you can use even the brightest of colors, and you're gonna have such a pretty look as long as you blend and use the right brushes. And I'm just like buffing it on in really small sections and then just going back over it to diffuse it just a little bit, because you don't want it to be too harsh. So that is what the shade looks like right now. And I think that's pretty vibrant, so I am going to leave it on at that and do the other eye. Very last minute, I decided that I wanted to wing this out in my cut crease. So I just went back in with the shade Zobo with my Morphe M573. I'm not going too crazy on the wing. I just want the corners to flare out. So I'm just going to pack that color on right in there and just flick the excess out and bring it back in just a little bit. See, like, it's not too much. I just want it to flare out, like almost to meet the corner of my eyebrow. Then I'm going to go back into that shade Chi and pick it up and just bring the corner out slowly and keep it in the same line that I had it in the crease with. Now if you are worried about fallout, I will tell you there is not a lot of fallout. I mean, I don't even have any fallout right now where I'm at, like at all, with the colors that I've been using. And these are obviously very bright, vibrant. Like I said, I don't have any fallout right now, but if you are worried about that, like I have my RCMA no color powder out like on my counter at all times. So you can just go right under and pack that on. We can dust it away later. It's just to help with a little bit of fallout. You don't have to do this if you are comfortable. Now I'm going back into the color Chi with the M506 from Morphe. And just flaring that color out with the crease like I did on the other eye. And I almost want the sharpness to be more in the center and the color to slowly be diffused out on the edges. I don't want to get it, like I don't want it to start looking too harsh because it is a cut crease. So that can happen very easily, and I understand that it's a cut crease, but I still like all my colors to be blended and diffused. And I like it whenever like the lines are like diffused, which is what I just said, but I like it like that. So you can see that I didn't like bring the product out like too far on the sides, and I did just make sure that they're nice and blended. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with a synthetic brush and my Tarte Shape Tape. And I'll just dab a little bit out on my counter because that's just easy for me. And then pick it up on the brush. Just a synthetic brush is what I'm using right now. And I just pack that on the part that I have left at the bottom to create that cut crease. Don't worry if you go outside of the lines just a little bit because you can go back in with the shades that you used before and clean everything up. I like to pack it on pretty heavy and then go back through and make sure that the line is not harsh. That's the hardest thing I think I will say with a cut crease. For me personally, it's not something I do on a daily basis. I mean, obviously, I could, it just is more time consuming. I don't always have the time like that in the mornings for work. But I feel like that's probably my biggest struggle with a cut crease is just making sure everything is, like the line is perfect and everything is blended. So that's one thing I like about it is that, you know, that's not a perfect line. It's pretty close like to obviously like following the line I'm going with. But you can go back in with the shades that you were using before and it's perfectly fine. A Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush. And I'm going to go in with the color Giza in the palette. Pick that up pretty heavily and apply it just over top of what I just used. And with the shade Zobo in my M573 and just blending just a little bit just to make sure there's no harshness. Okay, then going back in with the F06 from Morphe into the shade Chi again. And I'm really actually just carving out that crease just a little bit more so the line is more defined and the colors are more diffused. Okay, so now I'm going back in with this brush. I'm not adding any more product to it. I'm just blending those two colors together again. And I actually am going to go back into the Nubian and pick up that first transition shade, just a dab on the tip of the brush, because I just like the blend that it gives, and it almost just like diffuses that color, because the pink the purpley pink tone is definitely harsh and you don't want there to be any lines from it. I'm just gonna go in with the Diamond Dust from Stila. And I am just going to pop it on just right over top of that color. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know if I want to bring it out, but I'm like, it's glitter. I want it everywhere. And I just followed the white that I used. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and put some bronzer, blush, set my eyebrows down, and then get all this away, and then do my lower lash line. But I'm gonna do this first. I'm just using a Morphe R2 to use my Charlotte Tilbury powder to dust away the excess RCMA no color powder. Trying not to get too close to that line, and just, you know, powdering the whole face over and over. Okay, now, so I'm going in with the Morphe M530, and I'm just going into this first shade here, which is the shade Subconscious. And I'm just going along my jawbone for contouring. Nothing major. I think the eyes stand out without having to overly contour my cheeks. Just doing that on both cheekbones. I do like to go in a little bit on the chin and just use the excess. Then I like to do my forehead, of course. Now I will be going into, I love these blushes. That wasn't the right blush. The Saharan blush. I have volume 1 and 2. Volume 1 is better for when I'm a little bit darker, and I really like to use it on clients who have a tan or a darker skin tone. It's beautiful. I'll show you what the colors look like. This is volume 1. The shades are just so pretty and vibrant, so pigmented. But on my skin today, I'm going to be using the volume 2, and I'm actually going to go into the shade B and mix it with a little bit of Lena. I'm picking up my Heavenly Luxe French Boutique brush from It Cosmetics. I'm just going in with both shades and then patting off the excess because these are very pigmented. And I'm just dusting that right along the cheek. I am going to go back in and bronze. I just wanted to contour and then blush and then bronze. No specific reason. It's just what I was feeling. I really like Yara. I think it would be very pretty for bronzing it when I'm darker skinned, but for as pale as I am now, it would be a muddy mess. So I'm really enjoying this Koko collection lately by Kylie and her sister. I love the blush color. I love the bronzer. The bronzer is beautiful on my skin tone right now and when I have my spray. The highlighters are pretty. They're just not my favorite for a highlighter. I like something with a little bit more brightness to it, and if you're looking for something a little bit more subdued, I think these are perfect. They do swatch prettier than I feel like what they look like on the skin. They're just not, they're very creamy, but they're just not overly blinding, which is fine. I'm going in with her bronzer from this collection, and I bronze up the cheeks pretty heavily, but not, you know, I just diffuse it out. I just think this bronzer is so pretty. And I do feel like her cosmetics have improved a ton. I'm a big supporter of people that work hard and, you know, have a passion for something, and so I've purchased a lot of her cosmetics, and I mean, there are a few things I haven't loved, but overall I feel like she gets a lot of hate for something that's not terrible. I think there are a lot worse products out there, and like I said, I really feel like over time she has improved so much on her products, so I'm gonna keep buying them. And I can't wait for the summer collection. The M510, and I'm going into the NikkieTutorials and OFRA Everglow palette. Of course, I'm going in with the lightest shade that there is in here. Picking it up pretty heavy. And I'm accidentally tapping too much off. and just going across my cheekbones with that. So you can see better. It's just so pretty. And of course, like I bring it up over my brow bone just a little bit, just because I think it looks pretty on my skin that way. Then I just dip the tip of my finger in or the tip of my nose because I don't want it to be overly blinding, and just bring a little bit of the product down the bridge. Of course, dust the highlighter on my Cupid's bow. Then just for a little bit of face glow, I am going in with the medium shade and going on my chin and in the center of my forehead just a little bit. I am gonna go and with the very first shade from the Nubian palette again on this Morphe E18 and just putting that color on the lower lash line. And really this is going on pretty heavy because it is a thicker brush, but I'm doing it so light-handed. It's just like for a base color and to blend the other colors that I'm gonna put on there out. Now going in with the E36 from Morphe. I'm going to go into that shade Zobo. And I'm going to pack this on the lower lash line pretty heavily. The shade Bori. And I just really want that to be focused on this inner corner right here. But I want it to be, you know, I want it to stand out pretty good. But I just wanted to pop a pink just on that inner corner lower lash line. I'm just blending it into the shade Zobo. I do bring that shade down kind of far because I do want it to be smoky. When it's all said and done, yes, it's a very bright look, but this is just for fun and I want a bright summer look. Okay, now I'm going in with a Sigma Flat Definer E15 brush. I'm going in with that shade Chi, which is in my cut crease on the top. And I'm picking that up pretty heavy. And then with my Morphe Prep and Set, I'm just going to spray that on just a little bit because I'm going to be packing this on the lower lash line and really tightly. And also on my waterline. Go ahead and pick up that Morphe E36 again, and I did dust any of the excess color off, but I'm just blending out the very edge of this and almost, I don't want there to be like a huge defined line from here out to this, but I just want to blend out that color right there just a little bit, just for a slightly diffused smoky effect. Now I am picking up the OFRA NikkieTutorials highlighter again. I want this to be on my inner corner. Because it's just so blinding. And then I'm gonna go in the shade Giza and the Masquerade palette and put that on my brow bone. Oh, and I am using the shader inner corner E46 from Sigma for that. It's my favorite. I don't want that color on my brow bone and the shade that is in my crease to meet. I want there to be just a little bit of space between those. So that's why I love this shape and this brush, because it just gets so perfectly right in there and perfectly in the inner corner. Okay, I have got my lashes on and I actually went in with the House of Lashes Boudoir Light. I was going to go in with something a little bit more dramatic, and I just bought a new pair of lashes the other day. I think I got these at Ulta, and it was the Idole Professional Mega Volume, and it's a new style, and honestly, like, it was bad. I didn't I probably should have cut them, but you can see they're super big, and they're like right here they look so pretty, but on my lashes they literally took up so much of my lid space you could not even see like the work that I had done, and I was just like, no. So I took them off and I put on the Boudoir Light from House of Lashes, and I absolutely love House of Lashes anyway. They're one of my favorite lash brands besides Idole. I do think Idole has really good lashes for the price point, but I don't think House of Lashes prices are bad. I think they're like $9 to $12, and then when you buy 3 or more, they go from like $7 to $10. So to me, that's not bad for lashes, so I usually just stock up on them at one time. I'm gonna go in on my lips with the new Koko Kylie Matte Liquid Lip in Bunny. It is a really pretty nudie mauve color. It's really similar to my lips. These lashes will not like leave me. I know it's because there's lash glue on them, but like it cannot. Absolutely cannot. No. We're done. Go in with my new favorite gloss, and it is the Sephora Outrageous Effect Volume in the shade number 2. I love these glosses. I think they're awesome. And I'm just going in over top just for a little bit of plumping and just a little light glossy look. Then to complete the finished look, I'm going in with my Morphe Prep and Set. Very heavily. And the Masquerade palette for sure has lots of color in it. It's not just the funky colors. I think it's a super nice variety. Like you can see that most of the funky colors are on the top pan, and then there's just a few in the second row. But there are a lot of colors to work with. These would be perfect for pops of colors, you know, in the inner corner, on the lower lash line. You don't have to do something funky like this, and this is definitely not something I would do on a daily basis. I just had inspiration by this romper I'm wearing, and I thought it would be super fun, and it was. And I haven't done a cut crease in a while, so I thought I would just make the whole thing kind of funky, and I really enjoyed it. And if you guys like this look, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!